everyone. Hope everybody is doing well, and the weather's getting nicer, days are getting longer, and it's a good time to be outside as long as we can keep our distance and remain safe. Well, we've got a holiday coming up this week, the holiday of Shavuot. And on Shavuot, we celebrate when we received the Torah, when the Jewish people received the Torah on Mount Sinai. And one tradition that we do on, that a lot of people like to do on Shavuot is eat foods with dairy, meaning things with milk. Things like cheese and cheesecake and Blintzes. And the reason for that is because the Torah describes the land of Israel, which is the home of the Jewish people, as the land flowing with milk and honey. And the Torah as milk and honey. And so we like to celebrate that by eating foods with dairy. And the story we're going to read is called, appropriately enough, A Mountain of Blintzes. And we'll get to that in a second, but I think you notice this instrument that I'm holding here, my violin. And we're going to start off with a little bit of music. Play a little song that's good for Shavuot called Yisrael V'Horayita. And it is a song that celebrates the Torah and how the Torah gives us light. And so hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that, and after I put it down, we'll move on to our story. So, A Mountain of Blintzes by Barbara Golden. Now this is based on an old story from Poland, hundreds of years ago. But in the story, in the introduction, the author explains that she took it and made it closer to present day, and the setting is not in Poland, but in the Catskill Mountains. Now, the Catskill Mountains are in the northern part of New York State, and New York is the state right above Pennsylvania. So north of here is the state of New York, and then in the northern part of New York State, you find the Catskill Mountains. Now, about 100 years ago, when the setting of when her version of the story takes place, the Catskill Mountains had a very large Jewish community, and go up there, especially during the summer, and have concerts and different programs going on. It was almost like a big Jewish day camp up there, especially at that time, the early 1900s, about 100 years ago. But in this story, everybody works together to make sure that they have a lot of Blintzes, plenty of Blintzes for the holiday. So I hope you enjoy this story. All year long, Sarah and Max worked hard. They fed the chickens, chopped the wood, planted the fields, and took in boarders to earn some extra money. The children helped too, but no matter what, Sarah and Max never seemed to have enough. It was Mo, Sarah's oldest, who reminded her when Shavuot was but 2 weeks away. He was learning about it in Hebrew school. "Such an important holiday," said Sarah, "when Moses went to the top of the mountain to meet God and receive the laws. Such a meeting. Could you imagine? What a celebration we could have! What a mountain of Blintzes I could make! If only there was a little extra to spare." Sarah could just picture a plate of stuffed pancakes. I'll have to come up with a plan, she said. Early the next day, Sarah thought of it. Maxie, she said, I've been thinking about Blintzes. You make the best, he said wistfully. Not without buying the ingredients, Sarah said. Then she turned her purse upside down and shook it. But not a penny fell out. But don't worry, I have a plan. You and I will do some extra work. Extra? Who has time for extra? Max repeated. Well, it's only for 2 weeks, said Sarah. Mr. Epstein needs help building those new bungalows, and Mrs. Grossinger wants help with the washing. We'll put our earnings in the coin box every day, Sarah continued, and soon we'll have enough for Blintzes. You agree? Max shrugged. Did he have a choice? Guess he had to agree along. The Torah is sweet. The Blintzes are sweet, Sarah sang that afternoon as she washed Mrs. Grossinger's sheets. She winked at Natty. We have some Blintzes to make, and soon. Blintzes, Blintzes, a mountain of Blintzes, Natty chanted. Ach, what a boy! You remembered. A mountain of Blintzes to make us think of the mountain Moses climbed. Up and down he went to bring us the Torah, the laws. Sarah looked around. So no, Natty. Where are the others? They should be home from school by now. Mo, Mo, Sarah shouted into the yard and all the way to the woods. Come help hang the laundry. Mo! There was no answer. Bessie, Sarah called. Francie, Harry, where are you? But still no answer. Oh, where is everyone? Just when I need help, the children disappear. Later, after Sarah had collected her coins from Mrs. Grossinger, she stood all alone in the kitchen. Mo had finally come home and was doing his chores with Natty tagging along. Who knew where the others were? If they aren't home soon, they'll be doing their chores in the dark, Sarah grumbled. Sarah was just about to drop her coins in the box when a brilliant idea hit her. With Max putting in his money, there will certainly be enough for Blintzes, she thought. He has more to spare than I do. I have to buy so many other things. There's candles for the holiday and material to make the children new summer clothes. So Sarah, very pleased with herself, put her coins into her purse instead. Max was heading home from Mr. Epstein's. The coins he had earned painting the bungalows jingled in his pocket. He waved to Mrs. Katz, who was taking the cakes out of her bakery windows. Then she stopped at Mr. Fitzgerald's grocery to ask if he needed any more eggs to sell. Up the hill and down the road past the dairy, in the Freedman's house, and Max was home. Max waved to Sarah, who was outside helping Mo stack wood for the stove. Oh, what a wise wife I have, he said to himself as he went inside to put his coins into the box. Max could almost smell those tasty Blintzes. But he hesitated for a minute and he was struck by an idea such as a genius might have. With Sarah putting in her coins, we will surely have enough for the Blintzes, he thought. Sarah has much more to spare than I do. I have to buy wine for the holiday and all the children need new shoes. So Max, very pleased with himself, put his coins back into his pocket and went outside to help stack the wood. Every day the same thing happened. Sarah stood by the box ready to drop her coins into the slot, but then she thought of all the things that she needed. She thought of Max dropping his coins in, and every day she put her coins into her purse instead. Every day, when Max stood by the box, he thought of all the things he needed to buy. He imagined Sarah putting her coins in. And each day, he dropped his coins back into his pocket. After supper one day, Sarah made the announcement. It's time to open the coin box. Mo, Bessie, Francie, Harry, Natty, and Max ran over to the counter where the box stood. Max had a dreamy look, as if when Sarah opened the box a mountain of Blintzes would cascade out, already cooked and sprinkled with sugar, ready to eat. Never had the house been so quiet. Sarah reached into her pocket for the key, then she opened the lid and gasped. Max looked in and gasped too. How could it be? Wonder what's inside. Not a penny, said Mo. You didn't put in any coins? Sarah said, turning to Max. Not even one? And where are your coins? Max replied. Even one. I needed them, Sarah said. I thought that with your coins we would have enough for Blintzes. And I needed mine, said Max. I thought that with your coins we would have enough. Mo coughed. Harry shuffled his feet. Bessie and Francie giggled. Giggles, said Max sternly. This is not the time for giggling. They're up to something, said Sarah. You remember how we've been so late coming home from school? Asked Bessie. I remember, said Sarah. Well, Papa and I were doing extra. Well, said Harry. We were doing extra too. I helped Mr. Fitzgerald in his grocery for a sack of sugar, said Francie. Mrs. Katz gave me a big bag of her very best flour for sweeping her bakery, said Bessie. And I promised to pick berries for Mrs. Friedman this summer, added Harry. And she gave me 3 jars of her jam. And I work for Mr. Townsend's dairy, and he's going to give me all the cottage cheese and sour cream we need, said Mo. Sarah clapped. Then we'll have our Blintzes after all. See what smart children we have, Maxie. Just like their parents, Max beamed. Natty help? Said Natty. Yeah, well, you'll help us make and eat the Blintzes, said Sarah, and gave him a big hug. When Shavuot came, they had a mountain of Blintzes with a mountain of other good things. Candles and wine, not to mention new clothes and shoes for the children. And Natty helped too, spreading jam all over the Blintzes, and also on his face and fingers. The end. Hope you enjoyed that story. It's a story of teamwork and all working together to go towards a common goal. So, hope you have a happy Shavuot, Chag Sameach, and have a nice summer. Hey, take care.